Welcome to the Enlighten Up podcast, where I am going to take you into a deep exploration of what it means to exist in this current reality. We are going to raise your vibes, open your mind, expand your heart, and dive deep into the wondrous mysteries and possibilities of this lifetime. There's been a spiritual catalyst that has set in motion the awakening process of many across the globe to return to the knowingness of self and unite what has been separated. Together, we're going to bring light into that darkness. We're going to remember the joy of living. But most of all, we're going to turn up the volume of our own eternal power and do the thing we're here to do. Welcome back to the Enlighten Up podcast, everyone. I hope you're excited for this very special broadcast because we have Mary Dusina here, the queen of Scorpio energy, to, of course, deliver us all the goods on what's going to be going down for this very intense, very surprising full moon in Scorpio. Mary, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Venusian Queen. Thank you, audience. Happy Mother's Day, full moon. I'm good, thank you. I literally talk about earth energy and water, like, how Spirit just shows us signs and wonders all the time. I literally, before we decided to go live, I literally went out and thought, oh, there's a hummingbird. Oh, I didn't remember to change the hummingbird feeder. Oh, I got to mix it up right now. And it's like, oh, it's like 10 minutes to live. So I quickly got it done and was giggling when I came back in, felt that inner child. And it's like, oh, I love nature. And she snapped her fingers and this Scorpio stellium jumped. And the hummingbird came back, and that last glance coming into the door to do my reflective prayers and blessings for the audience and the replays and the host and the ancestral knowledge and our ancient soul teachers that love us and remind us that we are loved. Yeah, this is my favorite full moon of 2025. The intensity of it is electric. It's palatable. It's reminding us with the external events, think electrical, shock value, shock and awe. Wow, I didn't see that one coming. The electrical, like the pulses of that, we literally can be shocked and we literally can be brought back to a new way of looking at it and a new life. That's when they're doing the cardiac defibrillation, whatever that is, where they shock the heart to bring somebody back clear, and then the bolts go of energy. We, however, with the sun, now Mercury, Uranus, all flowing into the earth, goddess, Gaia, Mother Earth, nature, sign of Taurus, this is touching the part of us that knows the wealth of being in harmony and peace. Taurus is tangible. It's this earth realm. We are all earth citizens. We are souls aspiring to awaken and remember and move with ease and grace and the medicine and the magic of the glory of all of our ancestral blessings and the lessons that they underwent. This Taurus impact, the first fixed earth sign of the zodiacal new year. So we begin the Western zodiac with Aries the Ram, and now we have Venus ruled Taurus, which is about the real us, It's touch and taste and soft and pleasure and desire and our values, what we deem worthy and how we accept whether the other or the external in our life deems us worthy, and how much are we accepting of that is not in a congruency or a communion with our higher soul self. So this Taurus energy is our garden of 2025. The rising of the Vesak, the Wesak, the Buddhic full moon, the Earth Diver flower moon, we have been planting seeds since the zodiac new year began at spring equinox, and now there is the flowering, there is the unfurling of the green medicine and the lushness of new earth birth. Scorpio, however, on this full moon demands and requires that it is often beauty can be dangerous, pleasure principles can be a plus or a minus, and it reminds us with this full moon at 22 degrees of the sun in Earth Taurus and the moon in watery, the deepest, most mysterious water energies are Scorpio. Like what causes quicksand? What can suck you under? Can you keep your head above water? Are you swimming into dangerous rip currents or undertows? Scorpio is the depths of going into the caverns and the caves of water, because you will face fears. You will have a different kind of reality check or reality bite that all of us, are magnets. So when you get into an earth-water scenario, the electrical energy is what we're deeming worthy, where our beliefs lie, what we're willing to adjust and accept as change, how much we have faith, how much we are flowing in. I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but I'm going to be fully present because there's so much to be grateful for in my life and so much that I can participate in, and there's even so much more that I can take the layers off and unfurl the toxic entanglements and the mind lures and temptations and the energy vampirism that can try to lure me and tempt me in the external. I'm now celebrating my soul's residence in both communion and baptism with that which is sacred and holy and of resplendent light. So the electrical is the light, the divine fire, the holy smoke. What we inhale, we give a bit of life to. We certainly are giving it more attention because we're bringing it in. And so the Scorpio moon is about an I as a Pluto-governed zodiacal sign with a little bit of an emphasis of Mars. I just added on Pluto, but it's still Mars, and Mars is how we act out. So this Scorpio Buddhic letting go of attachments, the precepts of be here now and fully at peace with whatever it is, because now you know as a magnet that you're getting more concise, correctional emphasis that's healing medicine rather than being too redundant and addicted to the same old story, the same old treadmill, and the same, why did I think that would work different this time? Because it's exactly what I've avoided or exactly what I've enabled. I've known that intuitively. Sometimes it's hard to look that deeply at how much my part of it is and how complicit I am with continuing the drama that I myself say I'm worn out and I'm drained and I'm tired. So the Scorpio full moon, wherever Scorpio is being illuminated in your celestial star map, the Scorpio area of this micromoon, this moon that will appear to be a bit secretive. It's about shadow work. It will appear 30% less light. It's a micromoon in 2025. And so it's going to be subtle, but yet strongest as it appears in the East, even between the Mother's Day, Earth Mother, Mother Earth, Mother's Day, this full moon waxes with its strength as we're feeling now, and it's invoking both the divine goddess, the power of that which seeds or gives birth and new life to us, be it those that inspire us mentally, those that invigorate us in partnership and agreement and teamwork, everything that has to do with, I'm drawn to that, you feel right for this, and I'm going to course correct my own chaos, my own self-criticism, my own ability to have to always seem to do it the hard way, or first have to fall flat or doubt or create drama or the circus of confusion and chaos and crisis in order for me to come to a concise harmony and peace with that. So the fixed sign of Taurus invites you to keep remembering peace is plausible. That or who or where you feel peace is not locked into just what you're experiencing externally. The Buddha moon is about letting go of the attachment to outcomes. And this Scorpio moon is, I feel, Nicole, and beautiful audience, that this is simultaneously both a baptism in 2025, a baptism, a clearing, a cleansing, and a releasing of anything that is of the difficulty or nefarious light or energies, and yet at the same time it's a communion of these are the beliefs that are working for me now. I'm leveling up, and I can see as a magnet as a medicine magnet. I see why that was, how I invited it, how it taught me, and now I let it go and thank it for the memories. Because I'm now the magic. I'm now the magic.
And just so, guys, I know someone in the audience has their ascendant at 22 degrees, and that is exactly where this full moon is going to be happening. So, Kim, you are definitely going to be feeling this full moon on your ascendant. For anyone out there the ones who are really going to be impacted in a challenging way by this full moon, or anyone who has any, your personal planets around 20 to 24 degrees of all the fixed signs. So Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius. You guys are going to find this perhaps challenging, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad. I want to make that clear. Just because something's challenging doesn't mean something good can't come out of it. It just means you're going to be pushed into something that is necessary, that maybe perhaps you've been dragging your feet on or avoiding. Those of you who are Cancers and Pisces, or Capricorns and Virgos, you're going to feel this full moon with a little more ease. But this full moon in Scorpio, like Mary said, it can appear like there's some secrets that are going to be unearthed. And that could just be things that you are keeping secretive from yourself. There could be things that you hide behind that you can no longer hide behind. And it's time to reveal them, because with Uranus and Taurus, the sun in Taurus, as Mary has said, this is time to kind of break free of things that are not aligned with your values, okay? Break free of things that are not true to who you really are. And this is something that's going to cause some big shakeups for a lot of us. Again, though, a shakeup doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It can come through as a breakthrough, a liberation, a revolutionary experience for you. So some of you, yes, it could come down to something earth-shattering in many ways, but at the end of the day, everything is here to push us to grow. So always remember that Scorpio loves death and rebirth. Okay. Scorpio loves change, transformation. And ultimately, Scorpio wants you to find your power. So remember that this is about you connecting with your inherent and innate power that perhaps you're dulling, you're dimming, you're shoving off and giving to someone else. It's time to reclaim that. And so this full moon in Scorpio definitely does carry some intensity, but it is trine the North Node in Saturn. So Mary, how do you feel that is impacting this full moon in Scorpio?
Well, I like this. Taurus is like the garden, the soil. The Scorpio is all the earthworms and everything that's crawling underneath it, and the moistness of the embryonic womb waters of our Earth Mother's earth birth creations, that whole, when the seed goes in and all the process that's happening, whether it's an animal, two-legged or a four-legged, or the actual, inner world and inner realms of the mystery of what seeds crack open and grow and take new life, or that divide. And so when you get Saturn involved, Saturn's like the father figure. We've got Mother Earth, and then we've got Father Sky, and then Grandfather Sun in a lot of indigenous cultures. So this is the father. The father isn't just the seed. The father frequencies also can steer and direct and show examples, hopefully, of heroism in the face of danger, and pausing to reflect, even though we have to make a microsecond decision of fight or flight that comes up. Everything right now with Saturn on the Taurian planets is our primal. And some, I think some mystics and some shamans would also say the truths, the wisdoms, the lessons learned, the leveling up, the graduating of, if indeed our soul progresses across many timelines and many incarnational dances. I feel that this moon is about, as in Buddhic traditions and Hindu traditions and Sufis and a lot of these older indigenous First Nations type of beliefs, that we are drawing from the successes of our ancestors that we are receiving under this Scorpio moon. I had a real strong psychic impression, because just to inform those that kind of go, well, I kind of sort of get it, but I don't really get into astrology. The energy, if you just look at two signs, if you just look at the Taurus that says, I need to see it, smell it, taste it to believe it. Taurus is all about our senses, and I'll continue that loop in a second. But Scorpio has to do with it's do it or get up off the pot. This is the time literally of what needs to be excreted and eliminated. And when you have Saturn involved and you have trines involved, they get us emotionally untangled because we get in these intimacy. We can have we have developing intuitive strengths, and we have emotional intelligence, and we have intuitive enhancements. And then there are the energy draining factors that can happen from ego only, and our insecurities only, our addictions to our escapism from. And so Scorpio says, it's time to knock that off. The definition of insane or crazy is doing the same thing the same way every single time, again and again and again, and it doesn't change anything. It's the definition of insanity. So insanity even is almost like going inside. Where is my sane? Where's my sanctuary? My soul is my sanctuary, perhaps for a lot of people, my meditations, my prayers, my fasting, my ability to have both heaven and earth when I literally go somewhere on this planet and I connect with the energies of the land and the water, the waterfall, the bathing rituals, everything to do with cleansing your chakras and amplifying your allegiances to the light. And kind of this is a good time of year with the Scorpio Buddhic VSAC moon. It's a portal that opens. It has to do with, can you summon up your faith enough with the Scorpio intensity to literally be shown over May 11th and 12th of the year of our Lord of 2025, that which will ultimately be the key that totally unlocks you from those nagging things, those taunting things, those haunting things. Scorpio's all about, Halloween and Samhain and demonic and spooks and obsessive and possessive encounters or agreements. So this Scorpio full moon is saying, kind of might want to check yourself and see if there's any energetic cords or psychic knots that you may have had come up unconsciously, to Nicole's point about the freaky ass symbols that can happen in dreams, and we cannot leave out, as mystical astrologers, we cannot leave out that Scorpio always has to do with the whole phenomena and multidimensional reactionary things that happen when we think about death and dying. When we think about any event we've ever had in our life where we were scared to death, or that we had a premonition or a dream or a bad feeling or a good feeling, and we didn't tell anybody on the earth, and it literally was the supernatural, the paranormal, the as above, so below frequencies that you listen to, and you kind of parked it on a shelf to say, all right, I can hear it, and I got to test it. So the Taurus and the Scorpio energies right now are saying, dang, it's your garden. It's your soul garden and your love garden and your pleasure senses garden and your ability to break addictions to toxic things for you that bring you the minuses rather than the pluses of energy, vibrational peace and serenity. And with Taurus, it's everything to do with the senses. Look at just the terminology that we've had over the last several decades about the level of our senses, our sight, our smell, our taste, our touch, the senses of pleasure or horror in a lot of cases. So people will say things like, make it make sense to me. Oh, that's nonsense. I'm sensing something. I sense it. I don't know what it is, can't define it, but I know that I'm sensing it. Sensational. Not just scattering. Not just the things that Mars is in Leo right now. So it's how we act out. So Leo wants what it wants when it wants it. It doesn't want anybody to tell it can't do it. It's got the bravery and the bravado and the risk-taking that can go on with it. But right now, as Nicole said, Mars in Leo, one of Scorpio's co-rulers, is Mars. It's a Mars-Pluto dance, and it wasn't that long ago, at the end of April of 2025, that a very significant polarity and energetic shift of new things to look forward to. It does demand our attention, and it will require our breaking of how we've just done things a certain kind of way all the time in the past. We had Mars in the beginning of Leo, finally in Leo, and Pluto in Aquarius, and then we had at the end of April that T-square of the Taurus energy coming in on that. So that blooms for the third time. Now we have the Sun in Taurus, and now we have the energy that's happening with us, even though it's a softer note. It's powerful now to reflect, to do a vision board, to do affirmations, to be cognitively fully aware of your own intentions, because Pluto, Scorpio's ruler, went retrograde or got held in check, stalled, delayed, taken a side path on May 4th. So now we have Mercury in Taurus, and now we have these third decan energies of the Taurus Scorpio energy, and the actual planet that's been spending the last 7 years in the sign of the bull, Uranus, is also within a 4-degree by sign exact hit. So when Nicole said Leos and Aquarians, and first spotlight the two signs of Scorpio and Taurus. And I will say again, you want to know what these specifics of the mystery is that you're supposed to know more about, or to release, go to the Scorpio house. More than your Scorpio planets, go to where Scorpio is in your nativity, in your Earth birth chart. This is the time where, once again, just like we see trees blooming and flowers coming up and the stems and the roots and the shoots, this is also a time, because we reside on Earth with aspects of our consciousness, that spirit is seeding us. And what is the spirit? That's discernment. What is the spirit that you're allowing to seed you? A toxic addiction, something that's shadowy or cruel or binding in any way? Or are you allowing the seeds of the soul's highest light and the ability of all that you are a part of to come in? At least try it, at least give it permission for the light and the harmony and the peace that passeth all understanding to take seed at this time in 2025. It's so strong. It's so strong that this is the body temple, our earth body with spirit blooming inside our wonderfully made, magically corrected and appealed and healed to the divine. The divine frequencies are saying to us, and how might you find the pleasure and increase your extrasensory perceptions and resolutions and transformations if you take ye apart a while and rest?
You know, I have a fun little just example of how I'm kind of moving through this full moon in Scorpio, because Scorpio, again, it's a lot about purging, right? It's about detoxing. It's about pulling things that are deep within and to the surface to get them out. So one of the things that I just tried this week was a red light therapy bed. And I've done red light therapy wands and things like that, but I've never done the full bed. And there's a bed that is one of the top in the line that I went to. It's like there's only 2 that are this powerful. And so I tried it yesterday for the first time, and I decided to book myself several within a week because I wanted to get 4 sessions in before my retreat next week. One, because I know it's going to really amplify. I want to bring as much light into my body to prepare for holding the space for all the beautiful souls that are coming to the retreat. But also because I know, like, one of the things I've been really struggling with, and I've been very open about this on my channel, is going through perimenopause and having to find ways to adjust to how my body is working differently and functioning at less than optimal than what I'm used to. And so when we think about Scorpio, it wants to penetrate. It wants to go as deep as possible. And this red light therapy is something that penetrates deep, deep, deep into the heart of the cell, to the mitochondria, to stimulate it, to bring in more light, to increase its function, and also to purge, detox elements out of the fat cells. And so I just thought it was interesting that I'm deciding to do 4 treatments, 2 on either side of this full moon in Scorpio, to really kind of purge what has been building up in my body, and to then finally bring light in, which I think is interesting because you got Uranus that's part of this full moon, and Uranus is all about technology, and the red light therapy beds are definitely advanced healing technology, but they're also about bringing in that high intensity light, right? And so in a way, I feel like that's an example of how this full moon is interacting with a lot of us, in that there is something that we're meant to embody more. But first, to do that, we have to purge what can no longer stay within us. And Scorpio full moon is wanting to purge that so that we become more in alignment with our higher self, that Uranus energy that is looking towards the future, that is wanting us to progress and evolve and break free of the things that hold us back. So I think that I thought that was kind of interesting to go through. And I will say this, I freaking love the red light therapy bed. I don't know if you've ever tried it, Mary.
I have red light therapy facials, and I believe in the laser and the light factors. It's frequency, it's energy, it's higher vibrational.
Yeah, I lost 2 inches just in one session off my body, and I felt amazing. And I literally saw changes in my skin. I kept my eyes open the whole time because I've heard that it's great for your eyesight. And so I've decided that I'm going to start incorporating this into my daily routine of just wanting to give my body the best input of whatever I can put into it, right? To help it function at its most optimal levels. Because this is an interesting cycle going through perimenopause for all my ladies out there, or even the men who have a husband or a wife or a girlfriend who's going through this cycle. It is next level. This is like, you just feel not like yourself. You feel like everything you were used to being is like out the window, and you have to relearn everything and readjust everything. And so this has been one thing that I've been really excited about, on top of a few supplements I've recently introduced. NAD plus, NAD plus, it's a liposomal liquid delivery system. That and vitamin D3 with K2 that has bile salts in it. Those 2 things added in with the red light therapy, I'm going to tell you guys right now, changing my world within days. I've been on it now 10 days and I can literally see changes in my body. I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. So, these things are important to understand. And so for me, there's been a lot that's been illuminating through this period of time. And I think too, when we speak to the Scorpio full moon, we finally have Mars out of its shadow. So Mars being the traditional ruler of Scorpio, it's kind of nice that this is our first moon where Mars is out of its shadow and operating at its full speed, because Mars does not like to go slow.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So that's kind of nice.
Not at all. Yeah, no, Mars is, I also remind people, as you may also, Nicole, that when we look at our earth emotions, we look at things that stir the soul, we look at things that make us sleepy, and there's when we've lost our sleep, or we have in our mind that we really want to go to sleep, no matter what we've done or watched or actively pursued in pleasure or in solitude, when we're ready to go to sleep, even though we're reading the great book or solving a great crossword puzzle or whatever it is that you're doing, or a video game, but when your intuition will say to you, time to rest. And so you can sort of see when you're a little bit off kilter or a little bit misaligned. Don't let that scare you, to simply say, what is it that makes me like breathe deeper and I sigh and feels like I feel that feels right for me. Taurus wants us to get in touch with our senses. Nicole was talking about the red light therapy, let there be light, Mars energy in tandem with Scorpio, and right now it's in Leo activating. It's throwing out a lot of signals of activity. The most activated signs is the sign that it's in Leo. It's opposite Aquarius, under this full moon of the sun in Taurus and the moon in Scorpio. So there's this grand cross kind of thing that's going on that's saying these are the 4 main directions of the medicine wheel. And so Taurus right now is sitting in the east, new birth, new life, looking at, is this still something that I feel is worth it, worth my investments of my life force energy, my time, my commitment? Not that I have a string attached to it. The Buddha moon of Scorpio, let go of attachments and don't need to be in control, rather than looking at embracing the flow and being able to see that you don't always have to be the one that's doing everything all the time. So this is about the tangible results. Earth signs want to know, show me that formula works. Show me that recipe's going to help me. What is that herb and that medicine's going to do? So when you apply light, laser light activation onto the human temple, the human body, you're going to see, you know what was going on with you before. And so when you do red light therapy, when you do supplements and vitamins and fast and detoxing type of things, when you get stung, there's right here in the Appalachian Mountains, there's right here in the Smoky Mountains, all kinds of herbal beliefs from the mountain women that say, if you get stung by a wasp or a bee, that's going to help you not get arthritis. And if you get, it's going to help you realize that in a quick second, you can be jabbed or jolted with something that Mother Nature sent your way. Not everybody's going to get stung by the bee or the wasp, but if you did, take notice. So when something like that happens and you can laugh about it, or you take the tick carefully off, or you get rid of the flea problem or whatever it is, there are things that are emerging in our Mother Nature's skin and on her bones that also have to do with anything that bugs us, the bugs. And so we're fascinated and charmed by dragonflies and hummingbirds and butterflies and the things that lightning bugs, as we call them around here, the lightning bugs. And so you see these things glowing and bring up fairy kingdom and all those great things in your childhood, but it's something that comforts you. It's bringing back the blankets. You know, it used to be people described things in their bedroom as like they had a quilt that their grandmother had made them, or they got a quilt at a quilt show. Then they called them bedspreads. And then it morphed over the last 30 years into a comforter. A comforter. That's the name of it. It's a comforter. And so they usually they're thicker than a quilt. They're plush, and they're thicker than a quilt or a bedspread. And then there's cycles of fashion and home design, which is Taurus also, that coincides with Saturn. And then there are times where we've been there, done that. It served its purpose. It's not invaluable anymore, but I'm graduating from that. Like this time of year, coming toward Memorial Day in early June, we get into Gemini time, it's about graduations and homecoming and photographs and leaving one school to embark on the next school, or to go out and start to dance with your talents. So you can take care of yourself in the 3D material world. It's not just about the money. Some people get fractured there. Some people, Scorpio will reveal, this full moon will reveal duplicitous characters. It will reveal deceit that maybe no one ever wants to admit or believe that their relative, their family member, their partner could do that or say that. And so then we have the Piscean element that stirs the dream world and says, we're going to give you some Salvador Dali, really freaky kind of symbols in your dreams. And what's going to happen, because like Nicole said, Uranus is also a frequency bouncer. It rules the sign of Aquarius. Pluto just went in to Aquarius at the beginning of 2025. The tarot card that fits this combination of this 22 degrees, the third decan of the Earth, Taurus, Moon, and Water, Scorpio energy, is the Seven of Cups. If you want to go online, if you own different kind of decks, I would try to look up the traditional art of the Seven of Cups, which is the same thing in playing cards as the Seven of Hearts. The Seven of Cups, cups are emotions, they're water, they're psychic, it's our intuitive antenna, and there is a student or there is a disciple, and in the card there are, sometimes in the Rider-Waite deck, for example, there's a rainbow, like there's a supernatural prism of arching light, and there are 7 golden, some decks silver chalices, they're floating above them. In other decks, there are different themes, and each one of these cups flowing in the air, and it's like there'll be a person's face, and there's a cloaked figure, and there's a snake, and there's a dragon lizard, and there's a kind of like a Caesar's wreath, and there's riches, and there's a castle, and they're in the clouds. And so it's an apparition, there's a skull, there's an apparition, and it's appearing like you have choices. So when you get something dancing around in the fixed signs in astrology, Mars and Leo, these planets primarily in Taurus, are tangible. It's mine. I desire it. I want it. Don't touch that. That's mine. I don't want to give that away. So it's what we hold near and dear, what we individually deem to be, for a host of reasons, needed, valuable, helpful, comforting, and makes sense to us. It's helping us. It's clues. It's like Scorpio is also the Sherlock Holmes detective type of a thing. Let me follow the clues. It's pirates. on the ocean seas, on the open seas. It's the pirates. It's the beautiful female winches. And the pirate kingdom, and in most pirate tales and legends, when you go to that culture of people, the women, the winches of the oceans, they were like land mermaids. They had equal rights with the males. They were sexy, they were happy, they were lusty, they were musical, they drank with them, and they were not ostracized like other cultures in around the world. So the pirate females, the winches, were very helpful to the pirate males, and they had that Venusian win-win, we're a good team kind of an energy that happened. They even got lusty in all kinds of various ways. It was nature, it was raw, you could die in the ocean. You may never, even though you have the treasure map, you may never go discover the pirate's treasure chest, Taurus. But it's the mystery and the trust and the listening to the wind and the elements and the magic and the type of energies that are forming around you supernaturally. But it's the Scorpio part. Do you want answers? You ready? You ready? I give it to you. I wonder if you can handle it. Are you breathing in or are you recoiling? So right now this full moon is saying, where do you feel you're being uplifted and strengthened? You're a magnet. That's my message. Spring is, you are a magnet. What is electrically drawn to you? What's the new tech? What's the oracle? What's the card? What's the writer? What's the concert that you go to? What are you doing in nature that just absolutely, like Nicole talked about D3 and K2, very familiar with that and absolutely agree with that. The minerals that we need that some people get out of Himalayan salt or the Celtic salt, the raw minerals, the collagen for our sinew and our tendons and our bones. When we fast, what we choose to do a smoothie with, how we do powdered supplements that are organic and freeze-dried, how we nurture the body temple. There's no place like home. Home is your castle. Our symbolic external struggle and strive to get our own apartment, our own car, our own house, our own trailer, our own spot off the grid. All of that is the external dance of us coming to recognize that wherever you go, you are soul. And whatever you are, soul can talk. Soul is. And this is the external body temple. For some people, their body, their physical body, they go through tidal waves of it feeling like it's a prison house of bones and skin and cells gone awry and eruptions and irritable bowel syndrome and all kinds of things that are volcanic or inflammation when it's hot. Mars is in Leo right now. What's inflaming you? What's making you mad? Mars in Leo is saying, is your anger self-destructive? Because Leo rules the heart chakra, and Leo is the best part of each of us, being a heroine, a hero, a goddess, or a gorgon. Mars in Leo right now is saying, and what do you stand for? And what do you just take your phone and take a picture of when it's something that you could have actually helped or saved or nurtured or broke up? What the conflict is. So while Mars is bouncing around in Leo, the lion, right now, and it's been 2 years since it's done that, and Saturn, even though there's going to be other planets to get along with that, it's going to unleash our creative accomplishments and more of a pleasurable prosperity rather than, I'm bored, I need adrenaline. I'm bored, I've got to have that, I've got to go drink, or I've got to do that drug, or I've got to have that prescription because I'm getting stressed out. Mars in Leo is like, hey, are you being amused in your life, or are you being involved in being the director of the show? It's your movie, it's your script. I'm Leo. I want you to have the best of the best, but I want it to be real. I don't want it to be imaginary. So a Scorpio full moon can instigate something in our life in an external way or through a dream that the reason that we recoiled, the reason that we said, I'm going to set a boundary and I'm going to put some space between me and you right now because I don't quite know how to handle this. Something feels off. I'm sensing something is not aligned. I'm sensing some type of deceit. And if someone chooses to be deceitful to their own self, and they're not willing to look and see and take accountability for their actions, even though they have sugar-coated lying words, because they want to get what they want to get when they want to get it, if it's a toxic pattern. The Scorpio part of it is also the seraphim and the cherubim and the thrones and the dominions, the supernatural heroes and warriors and everything you ever read about the key Greek myth gods and the legends of different type of animals. You know, the power of the raven and the wolf when they show up together. The earth divers, earth called Turtle Island because the 13 indentions on the tortoise's back can regulate in the native people's cultures to the full moon. So this is a time where it's saying, do you know your worth? Do you know you're valuable? Do you know that you are the one to choose the seeds of what you feel is already living within you as a treasure? You are the treasure map, and you are the treasure, and you are a medicine magnet, and it's your responsibility right now. Mars and Leo will give you so much more in a bloom it out for a wonderful harvest come October, November of 2025, if you will simply take the ethical path of integrity, fairness, all for one, one for all, but you also do not let deceptive people or deceptive scenarios or negativity lure, tempt, and attach you. This moon will cast off whatever it is that's the weight upon your shoulders or whatever it is that you're battling within yourself. This is the moon that the shaman and the medicine man and the ancient teachings of many, many cultures, Aboriginal, Iroquois, says, you are the medicine. You are that which you seek. Simply take responsibility and trust your inner light.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, you know, let's not also forget with the modern ruler of Scorpio being Pluto in Aquarius, it is in a very tight square to Mercury traveling through Taurus. And so, you know, this is definitely going to be impacting communication, thought patterns. And so for some of you, you might feel like a very deep psychic, like you're under a deep psychic pressure cooker, okay, where you like your old mental frameworks about your voice, your worth, your safety, your stability, they can't really survive this frequency. It's kind of like, I don't know who I am without this thought, belief, or identity energy. But that's kind of the whole point of this full moon, because it isn't here to clarify. It's here to purge what's been really crowding or clouding your clarity. So this is where, you know, your mind has become your prison, and now your soul wants the key to unlock it. And there can be a lot of verbal detox, could even be communication explosions during this full moon. So sometimes some of you might experience some kind of verbal rupture, some message realignment, maybe certain thought spirals will take you down into like a place where you're really having to excavate and look at something because it's not serving you, right? This is where Pluto wants it burned. It doesn't want it to stay with you anymore. So it kind of, what this is all kind of really doing is it's upgrading your path. It's aligning your energy instead of suffering from it. So some questions that you guys can ask yourself in relation to this are, what inner narrative are you willing to let die in service of your truth? What fear-based messaging or self-talk is no longer compatible with who you are becoming? And what deeper truth is maybe emerging now that your old logic can't override anymore? Okay, because this full moon isn't here to really kind of calm you down. It's here to show you what truth feels like before your ego even tries to edit it. And it's a shift in your mindset that be coming through. So there could be the death of certain beliefs or mental stories that you tell yourself. And the moon wants to end the performance of self-trust and demand that you actually embody it now through that Taurus energy. So you're releasing the illusion that you even ever had control. So if your voice trembles during this full moon, good. It means that you're coming from a real place now. This isn't about hiding behind those masks. And I think that's an important part of this full moon as well. Just because we have that tight energy coming in to Pluto. So there could be, for some of you, a timeline collapse. This is where, Uranus is bringing that trembling energy. Pluto wants to unearth things, bring them to the surface. So there is a lot of that, like coming up to the surface. Let's break free kind of energy coming up here that really aligns you with what is true, what is going to propel you forward. And what also related, because also Taurus rules the throat, right? So with Mercury being in Taurus now, there's a double energy of things that, where has your voice not been true to what is really deep within you? And so now you can't hide those things. You do have to speak a truth that perhaps you're not confident in saying. And I say that because there could be some sort of insecurities in your own self-worth really arising through this full moon.
That's really, we need to pause right there, Nicole. That's very, very valuable, important timeline shift type of unmasking and allowing the truth to come out when it comes to the Taurus energy. When Mercury went into Taurus, our earth sign, what do I know now? What have I learned on the path? What do I know now really is good for me, holds worth for me? This I get it. This works for me. That what works for me, what doesn't work for me. So when Nicole's talking about Mercury going into Taurus, and it has to do with, like the throat punch, or when people say things like, I can't believe that you just said that to me. I cannot believe, did you just say that to me? Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? So it's the verbal, as she said, the verbal pinch, or the sometimes you'll get pinched. People say, am I dreaming? Pinch me, pinch me. So it has, and Scorpios have pinchers. So it has a lot to do with, I accept the unmasking of anything and anyone in any way under the grace and light of harmony. And I'm accepting this Plutonian divine alignment, this Pluto and Aquarius. I allow the divine light therapy to come into me. I allow both the baptism and I am released. I have been washed and cleared and cleansed of anything that disrupted me in an earthly way, in a toxic way in my past. And I allow my meditation, my prayer, the music, the way I spend time in nature, the way I feel about this Mother's Day, kind of Mother Nature, earthy holiday. Do I want to be in nature? Do I want to get a relative in nature? Do I want to look at my biological mother called Gaia and Mother Earth? So there was an earthly mother vehicle that got us from seed to human creature, to an earth citizen known as a human, a two-legged, to a lot of cultures. But we also, our mothers, our fathers, everything and anything that went on biologically to being fed or shed is involved with this earth life, this earth walk. We are spirit. We slip on skin to walk this earth, but for a while. As spirit, one with spirit, returning to spirit. So this spirit, allowing yourself to tune into the divine spirit, the essence, how you light the incense when you blow out the incense, or you blow out the candle, or you're at the ceremonial campfire or ritual fire, and you watch how you see the flames and the wood at the fire or the candle flame. And then when you extinguish it, when the flame is actually blown out or the fire goes down, you see the cinders, but you see the smoke coming up from the incense stick or cone or the ceremonial fire. And then you watch the smoke, you follow it up. So it's going into the atmosphere. It's the air that we wear, that we share. We breathe out, we breathe in. It's collective, it's palatable, it's biological. We are oxygen breathing creatures that came from a water world inside a womb. And so we look at what they call holy smoke, that literally what we want to release, this Wesak, this Buddha, this indigenous, an earth diver, full moon. Go on YouTube, go somewhere and type in, go on your search engine or Grok or wherever you go for your search and type in the myth and the legend of the earth diver. That's this moon. That's this moon. We are becoming cave dwellers. The caves are our hearts. Mars is in Leo. The caves are our hearts, so we're all cave dwellers. And in the realm of the temple of the heart, it's in the cage called the rib cage. And our heart is what propels us and either draws us to it or makes us afraid or have to come to a boundary and a realization that something is not a win-win. It is toxic. Our involvement is deceptive. We can't bear the light of day, or we're seeing that person and they're already betrothed or connected to somebody else, and we're cheating on them because of the commitment, whatever that was, that you told them you would not do that. Scorpio's minus or seamy or seedy side is also how to be the vampire. how to steal someone else's energy, how to take what really isn't yours, you haven't earned it, but you're going to be the criminal, or you're going to induce poison, even if it feels like pleasure. And all that is beautiful on the outside isn't necessarily what's being seen from within the participants. So we have to also be, anytime Scorpio's involved, we have to be able to look at what cost, Taurus, at what price, Scorpio. What is it that makes you think that escapism, that high, that person, cheating on someone would somehow solve all the problems that have made you not feel too sexy or made you not feel too desirable? Or you've been, before Nicole was talking about one of the life events that happens when we're perimenopausal, or we're pausing in between a divorce and a marriage, and we were actively dating in college and doing all these kind of things to explore and raise the adrenaline and the passion and the adventure of it all. And then we arrive at the Taurus point. We arrive at the Saturn point that says, I am compatible with this. And I've tried and tripped the light fantastic, but I'm happiest and more at peace here. And so I want that mate, or I want that match, or that tribe that we feel good here. And I don't care what the chaos and the confusion or the disruption is over there. If they're drawn to that, magnets and frequencies, if they're drawn to that, that's going to be the therapeutic, ultimately, result, because even if they have to have their legs knocked out from under them, or go through a crisis or an arrest or rehab, or get their anger under control, and they're ordered to have anger management classes, Mars is in Leo. You push back on somebody right now, you have someone try to push you to do their bidding or their way, they're going to find a lion. So I would also like to add to Nicole's excellent description of the Mercury and Taurus factor, excellent, about the voices in your head and what beliefs you're saying. Yep, I concur, I agree, I'm complicit, I will comply, when your inner soul is going, no, that doesn't work. You're not there anymore. Don't succumb to that because your mom and dad did, or that was what was done to you. Doesn't make it right. Feel it. Does it feel right? Does it feel empowering? Does it feel that you're at peace with thyself or at war with thyself? Yes. And then when we get to this Mars Leo, it's saying, listen to your heart. It has eyes. It will guide you. You have a third eye, the pineal gland, for a reason. It's your lighthouse in any time of darkness. So if you need to take a 1 mg melatonin, it's all natural. Melatonin is a hormone that resets your hormones, whether you're male or female. When one side's kind of a little lopsided, when you get into melatonin, and you get into, for some people, the B vitamins. So there's things that, if you can just look at the area of your body that seems to be the energy drainer, then you'll know, is it my digestion? Is it my elimination? Is it my sinuses? Is the pollen at war with me this year? And under a Scorpio moon, when Nicole mentioned purging, we're only going to purge the poisonous. Scorpio, like wasps and scorpions and insects that sting you, snakes, they can deposit a venom or a poison or an allergen. And bee stings, a lot of people are allergic to bees and wasp stings. So what this is it's like, stop getting stung because you want to believe that is, or you want to believe somebody's being honest, but your entire inner wisdom universe is screaming, I don't like this. There's something about this. I'm not saying you have to judge them or it, but you need to take time. Taurus, take your time. You do not push or rush a Taurus. You do not. When they decide that that's a plus, when they decide that, you have the most patient, sensitive, interested in the sensual touches of life and the great steak, the best libation, the dessert, the home cooking, the sitting on the porch together and listening to the cicadas or listening to the owl. Taurus is turned on by nature. So right now, whatever sign you are, you've got Taurus, your very nature, and what invigorates your body, what invigorates your skin, what are the products and the essential oils and the herbs and the supplements, and how much solitude do you need, and when's the last time you allowed yourself to have a massage or soaked your feet in Epsom salt or just took a bath So Taurus is about love your temple. Stop, look, I don't like that wrinkle, and I got to go do this, and I'm too skinny, and I'm too fat, and I don't like my stomach, and things are sagging and dropping and lifting, and maybe I'll go put on artificial instead. Stop judging it. Fall in love with the essence, the fire of who you are. We have all four elements. We have an earthen body. We have bones. We have the fluids running, the electrolytes running through our system. We have electricity. We have air. We breathe. We have water. We have fluids and urines and sweat glands and menstrual flows. And we have all kinds of things that are going on that have to do with the element of our Earth Mother. This is our nature. This is the core of our nature. And it's the only full moon of 2025 that says, just get in touch with your true nature. Nature, Mother Earth, probably is really going to be an accelerant for you to be able to get right with yourself or aligned with yourself. But how can the animal that she shows up to be your totem, medicine totem of the day, or the artwork that you're given, or the stone that you discover, or the weather pattern that absolutely just feels exhilarating for you, whether it's the aurora borealis or you're under the stars, or thank God we've been in a drought and I hear the soft rain and oh my goodness, it's going to stay all night long. It's different for everybody. This is the element of Earth, which is Saturn, our solidity. It's Taurus, it's the cow, it's the bull, it's the oxen, it's on the land, it's the mother's milk of the cow's milk. It's everything, the yogurts and the cheeses. It's everything to do with mammalian nutrition and the fruits and the nuts and the sustenance of Mother Earth. It's the trees. Taurus is the antenna of the trees. And if you study it, if you study trees and forestry, there's now oracles. There's oracle decks now. You can look it up online too that will tell you what the tree is for the time you were born, this Earth birthday, and then of this lifetime. And then there's also oracles that will tell you what each tree is, legend or myth is significant with that weeping willow or that jacaranda or the pine trees or the palm trees. There's all kinds of ways you can learn about trees with the Taurus, get more familiar with nature and what animals are showing up in a really odd way, like whoa, that got my attention. So when those kind of things happen, you don't see that every day. When the hummingbird flew in front of me before we came together today, and it looked at me like and that, I think it's JG Wentworth. I'm not getting paid for a plug or anything, but to me, it's always such a Taurus commercial, and it says it's my money and I want it now. That's going on with the Scorpio right now too. I'm done with this thing, not a person, not what somebody did to. I'm done with this energy in this thing that has me in prison, as Nicole said, that I'm tempted by. It's toxic. I know it's toxic. What is that thing? What is that lure? What is that fish hook? Why do I let myself go back into my weakest self or the toxic thing when I can make a choice? This is a full moon that allows us to make the choice in consciousness that we can allow a shamanic dancing or shaking. We can allow a visionary or seemingly somewhat intense or scary things in dream symbols that go, oh my God, that dream bothered me. Yeah, there was no chance I was going to forget that one. That was wild. And then we got to put the pieces together. So our dreams sometimes can give us back the medicine of how scattered our mind can be when we simply don't first check in with our spirit, the essence of our soul, and say, here's the choice. What about this choice? How does this feel? Let me breathe. Let me breathe into it. Let me pray. Let me allow divine alignment and reality and the unmasking of anything toxic or deceitful. If we would just take those steps, it's free. You can do it yourself. You can go pay somebody and they'll do a really good job of helping you learn about transformative shadow work. And that's good. Done it. Spent the dollars. Don't regret a bit of it. Don't regret a bit of it. Love it. It's made me my secure areas. Taurus is the secure harbor. It's like the lighthouse on the land to lead the ships in from the potentially stormy seas. And so look up the Seven of Cups and look up where you have choices. Seven main chakras, 7 main colors, 7 main days of the week at the current life on Earth that we have right now. There's stories. There's legends and myths and stories about every day of the week and why it's named what it is and what planet's associated with it. This particular full moon, this around 26 degrees in the Taurus constellation is Algol, Algol, Algol. And Algol is where the word ghoul comes from. Oh, Halloween and ghosts and demons and the light and the dark and the devil that danced in the how we dance with the devil in the darkness and how we get lured and tempted and the things that we've done in the shadows and that we were afraid to have the light of day, but we got tempted. We knew somehow it was a lure, it was a hook, but we went for it anyway to see, what am I about? What is my purpose here? What is the meaning of life? And will I be happy before I die? All that's Scorpio.
Yes.
All that's Scorpio.
Yeah. And so is there anything that you want to say just to kind of tie that up, wrap it up in a nice bow before we jump into all signs, Mary?
Trust what's being unmasked. If there's turmoil, if it seems like trouble or treachery, take a space, set the boundary, back up. Don't just blindly, willy-nilly plow forward. Don't do it. Don't do it. Instead, don't try to control or direct the outcome. Instead, just be willing to look at what seems to want to have power over you versus your ability to work with the powers.
Yes. Yes. And I think also I was just add to what Mary said earlier. This is really a full moon that you're like, I've had enough. And it's not so much with someone else, it's with something. And I know for myself, it's like, all right, I've had enough of this, perimenopause kind of, let me just kind of like go with it. It's like, no, I understand it's a new cycle that I'm going to be having to adjust, but I'll be damned if I'm not going to try to be as optimal as I possibly can so that my body, Taurus, can function, can really ground the energy that I know I'm working with at such higher levels now. It's like I need my body to be able to hold more light. And if my mitochondria aren't functioning properly, then I can't do that at the level that I know I'm capable of. And so I think for a part of me, I kind of used it as an excuse. Well, I just don't know what's really going on, so I'm just going to let my body do its thing. But now it's like, no, there are things I can do to help my body. So let's start doing that, and let's get rid of the things that aren't helping me, and let's try to be as optimal as possible. So I think on a whole, I think that's what we're going to be experiencing in this full moon to a bunch of different levels, depending on what's getting activated for you. But all that being said, Mary, let's jump into the signs individually and see what's in store for each person.
Perfect timing. The ability to slow down, take the pause for the cause that you and I individually are choosing that has worth. So the Taurus cycle to begin the signs is, where are each one of the 12 spices and flavors of the celestial parade, the zodiac signs, all 12 signs? What are we wanting to be enthusiastic about, and what are we willing to stay true to our ethics and the tactics and the actions that we take? And will we look more, Taurus, will we look more at the actions that people are taking or not taking because of this Scorpio full moon that is saying, okay, don't let them get away with that. They said A, and they didn't even show up on time at all and didn't do what they said they were going to do. Why are you giving them another chance to be deceptive or deceitful or not coming through with what? Taurus, they're part of the bargain. How is that worthy? How is that a win-win for the both of you? So for Aries, as we've talked about many times all last year, is that 2025 and 2026 were going to be the paramount years of life changes for people that are born under the sign of Aries, and its polarity, its opposite sign of Libra. And so I'm not going to go into a lot of details about that. I'm just going to tell you, Aries, that yet another Aries component comes into the third week of May of 2025 and anytime anything is coming into Aries, it has to do with a brand new initiation. Something is following the words, I am. So Aries is the I am. And so for Aries, this Scorpio, co-Mars ruled full moon, this Taurus, which for Aries is their second house area of value, worth. What do I need to sell? What do I want to buy? Am I hoarding? Have I held on to that for too long? Do I have too much of an emotional Buddha moon in Scorpio? Do I have too much of a psychological or emotional attachment to that? I'm calling it an heirloom, but has it got power over me more than me being able just to appreciate that that's a part of this life, and my parents and my grandparents and that artist or whatever it is. So for Aries right now, Aries are looking at the viability and the maneuverability of their talents. Aries is anger. Aries is ruled by Mars. Aries is motivation. Aries is the I am. So for you Aries out there, this particular Scorpio component with the Taurus, your second house, if you're an Aries, your second house is Taurus, is saying it's okay for your value to be known. It's okay for you to promote yourself or that or this that you do. It's okay to be courageous and the superhero of what it is that you feel is worth announcing, that you are pleasure in my life. I like this about our relationship or our partnership. I'm so glad that I can let my hair down with you. I'm so glad I can be bald with you. I'm so glad that we've had some peaks and valleys and ups and downs, but I am willing to curb my enthusiasm in a sense and maybe control my anger, because anything lunar that stimulates a fire sign, and although Mars and Leo is extremely motivating and favorable for you Aries, I do believe of all the fire signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, this full moon is granting and giving, because the Aries people are finally letting go of an 18.5-month cycle in their life. So for one thing, the Aries, you talk to an Aries, they can talk to you about what it was like to have something that looked one way and it went off course or, kicked the curb, and it ended up with some deceit involved being a completely different way. So Aries born or Aries intense people celestially right now have what's orbiting around them a need to allow their former frustration, their former denial, their former, oh my God, they said that, but they did that. Why did they deceive me? Why did they lie to me? And then there's always that decompressing and trying to understand, what in the world, if I own my part, what in the world if I didn't choose deceit? Maybe I had wrongdoing and actions that could have been taken better, but I didn't choose to deceive. If anything, I was out there. What you see is what you get. So Aries have had for the last 18, 19 months, and the Aries part of our charts has taught us about actions speak louder than words. Aries is action. And so for Aries right now, shared finances, emotional entanglements, we talked about that in the first hour of this podcast, releasing the need to drive or be in control or want to control the other in your life. Will you call me 5 times a day? Will you do this? So I had a male client that whoever he was dating, they had to call him at least 5 times a day, like every so many hours. That works for some people. Absolutely would not work for me. But I mean, it works for some people, and it gives a sense of soul security. This full moon for all the signs is psychic surgery. It absolutely is psychic surgery. I'm just asking every one of you signs to choose to have energetic therapeutic medicine and lean your research into that instead of horror and confusion and yet another drama-filled episode, even though the sex you say was good. I mean, come on, people, level up. So Aries is about, I want to have, it's a Venus-ruled full moon. So for Aries, it's about, I want to be involved in a compatibility, in a relationship. I want my partnership. I'm going to kind of do surgery on my, some psychological surgery on the relationships that I have around me right now. And if they're way off balance, if I'm asking them too much and I'm demanding, or I'm not friendly with them, or they're demanding of me all the time and exploiting me, Aries right now need to look at this Taurus toolbox and say, you know what? Don't say you want something that you're not willing to do yourself. So for Aries right now, they're holding themselves accountable, and that's the best way to get the divine balance for the I am. I am a person of integrity. I am willing to work. I am willing to be blessed. I am a moving magnet of prosperity. So for Aries right now, they have the support. They have the support of Mars and Leo right now. They have the support of the other energies and the nodes moving away from the Aries Libra axis. So right now is the time, and I see it going into 2026 for Aries, most of all 12 signs, to be active and bold and adventurous. But remember, don't burn people. Don't burn people just because you want to get ahead and you feel like it's your turn. And if you're a Taurus, happy birthday to you. Taurus is Venus. and Venus is Taurus and Libra, and the Venusian gods and goddesses, the Venus, the Roman goddess of beauty and love, and Venus has everything also to do with our tangibles and what we want, and it has to do with, oh my God, I can hold it, I can make that pottery, I can paint that painting, oh, I had the gift of that ring, or that was such an incredible adventure that they took me on. I was always at the beach and I don't spend enough time in the mountains. So everything to do with, I am feeling secure by doing and allowing the things that nurture me. And I as a Taurus, I need to feel the difference. I need to feel the difference if that physical therapy adherence is working for me. I need to see if that shift in my nutrients in my diet grants me a better energy flow than what I was just doing, just eating whatever, whenever, fast food, grab it and run type of a thing. So Taurus right now, May is transformative mainly for Taurus and Scorpio. And I look at how we use in the English language. Well, I'm sure it's interpreted and just said in other languages too around the world. But when we use the words of may I please, and also maybe, it's the month of May. May I? No, you may not. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. So look at what you're allowing as a possibility. May I, maybe, like you're at least willing to consider the Venusian side of things. Like maybe it's not you. Maybe it's not your culture or your world or your favorite color, but you can look at it. It's the Seven of Cups again in the tarot, especially Taurus, and you can look at, you have options, you have choices, choose wisely. Because Taurus, the Venus energy is also about our finances, our tangibles, redefining our personal image, our values, our status. And so I think mid-month, on to the end of the month, starts an interesting cycle of opportunity and finance and worthiness, and also the accolades of self-worth, because you worked really hard and you did a job and it was a job well done. So the full moon is bringing relationship matters into a peak of peace. I feel like that clarity is the key rather than avoidance or chaos or confusion or crisis to bring us something to a head. So Saturn's move into Aries for Taurus is pushing Taurian people, the bull and the cow and the oxen-born, to prepare quietly for a very big, larger career leap in 2026. If you're Gemini, Geminis are wanting to retreat a little bit, only go to that restaurant or that bar or that moonrise or that music venue or that work with that art or work with that mechanic. There's something, or those products at home. Gemini is working on improving something or beautifying something, upgrading something, allowing something to be functional and yet worthy. And it's a tool you need. Its mechanical flow is perfect. It's like when the first time you ever buy a leaf blower, and before that you always swept the leaves and you always hosed down the leaves or whatever you did. So it's like a leaf blower is coming around in the air sign of Gemini, and it's blowing away the leaves of autumn, because the new sturdies, I'm attached, I'm here, I'm growing, I'm flowing, I'm flowering, and I'm going to form a nut or some fruit and some blazing colors come autumn of 2025. So this energy, because the next new moon will be in your sign, Gemini, at the end of the month around the 27th. So this full moon in Scorpio is helping you with the refreshment to your identity, and you're setting new goals. And of course, with Gemini, it always involves word salads. It always involves, a need to listen deeper and communicate clearly. So Mercury's move into Taurus is going to bring you some, I think, surprising, positive options, choices, revelations around health, work, and maybe shifting up what used to be your personal routines. Maybe you'll take just one item of that, and there's a whole new restaurant, there's a whole new layer, there's been a shedding, and now there is building a stronger, divinely aligned tie or opportunity. And if you're Cancer, so the Taurus gets along with you, Cancer, and the Scorpio gets along with you, Cancer, and the Mars in Leo's the sign after Cancer, so it prospers you. So there are things that are really, for Cancers, although they are ruled by the moon children, and they go with the light and the tides of the moon and how the oceans tides and certain creatures and fishes and mating cycles. It brings for Cancer, even though it's earth and water, Cancer is the moon at the shoreline. So it's got to do with the white noise, the ions at the beach. It's got to do with the lapping of the waves and kind of taking note when you're standing in that Mother Nature landscape of beauty and empowerment and awe. When you're standing there, is the tide coming in or is the tide coming out? Well, that's like your breath. When you breathe in, tide's coming in. What do you want to manifest? What are you calling life and magic and medicine into? What do you want to manifest? Focus on that. Not what's eclipsed it, not who made fun of you, not who didn't support you or judge you, and even when you were hardest on yourself. It has to do with, to thine own self be true. The moon always affects the sign of Cancer more than any of the other zodiac signs because the moon rules Cancer. The sun rules Leo. It's strongest in Leo. The moon affects vibrationally frequency. Cancers have better opportunities than any of the other signs to manifest through dreams and intuition and journaling and meditating and affirming, because Cancers work well with the solitude, the power of the silence, breath work, releasing the shadows, allowing themselves to explore the inner landscape and to dive the depths, to go to the deepest aspects of their emotional caves and the feeling flow. And so these energies mid-month for Cancer is bringing some, wow, I didn't think I'd get that invitation, or that's an interesting project, or who knew? So there's like a Scorpio full moon is favorable to be transformative, to bring in things that both invoke your talents, allow more personal security, and also bless other people with your pearls of wisdom and your seeds of light. So it's shattering delusions and allowing you to allow the deep waters to be stirred, still waters that run deep with your romantic decisions. And I believe even Saturn entering Aries Cancer in the latter part of May is forming a foundation of career restructuring. And I feel like that it starts the architectural plans, the electrical diagrams, where the power is going to be, what you're going to prioritize as you move forward very seriously. So it's a very active time for Cancer. Aries planets activate Cancer's foundational goals and career aspirations. And this is what I want to do for me. And if I do this for me and I invoke my talents and allow my treasures, I'm earning my keep. I'm allowing richness to come into my life, and I'm allowing my worth to be known and validated, but I'm also teaching and blessing other people. Cancer is always some sort of a nurturer. Sorry that happened to you. Have you ever thought about it this way? Could you consider trying a different pathway? Can you allow yourself to feel what you need to feel instead of shutting down? Anybody that you know that's a Cancer or has Cancer strong in their chart is going to want to try to operate on your behalf with the higher nurturing, aka mothering qualities, rather than any maternal manipulations. If you're a Leo, oh boy, as Nicole said, there was a lot of retrograde stall with Mars and Cancer in 2024, and then in December, the Mars retrograde, again, it's a really long cycle of Mars. It's like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? What's up? What's down? But now Mars is flowing in May in your sign, Leo. And so we have, if you could get the imagery, the bull and the lion, the mountain lion and the calf, the cow and the bull and the sun. And do they have enough hay? And do they have enough water? Sun rules Leo. So this is about the intensity of energy, the intensity of desire, the intensity of commitment, the intensity to face what you need to face, to realize somebody's mouthing the words, but they're really not loyal to you. You're saying that you're going to do A, B, C, and you're so caught up in the moment when Mars is in Leo that if it feels good, you're going to put aside the work and shelf that for a minute and expect them to just put up with the fact you didn't call, you didn't do what you said you would do, or deliver when you were supposed to deliver, Leo, but you had a good time. You had a good time. I can make it up to him. I can do double the work just as fast the next day. And you may also lose the client, the patient, or the job. So with Mars and Leo, for all of us, whatever sign Mars is in, for every sign, is where we need to look at the best and the worst of our self-worth. So Leo is either the trailblazer, the shaman, the healer, the warrior, I'll clear the path, the one that will go be the first to fight, will enter the competition, will win the competition, win the race, and give their winnings in order to help the damsel in distress or the plight around the person, or to avenge someone. If someone that they loved was treated unfairly, that Leo will remember. People think about Scorpio, that Leo will be hunting you. It's a lion. We talk about the Lion of Judea. We talk about David and the lion's den. So the lion, Bravehearts, what fuels our commitment to what matters in this life. How we use our energy, how we act out is Mars. Mars is in Leo. If you want to know where the depths of your desire and the stirrings in your soul are, and where there needs to be any little psychological incisions or corrections or letting go of some kind of past growth type of a thing, and go ahead and stitch that up and watch it heal, Mars is in Leo. And if you're a Leo, or Leo is strong, and your chart, this Buddha moon, this Scorpio moon with the sun in Taurus, is hitting that home, family, childhood theater, who played a good guy, who played a bad guy, who appeared to be really in your court and, wanted to do the best for you, and instead sold your ass out and just went for the drug or the alcohol or the life of crime or whatever it was. Oh, you're a baby, but you're an inconvenience to me. Be gone. I don't have time for you right now. Go fix your own damn supper. So there isn't a lot of people, although we all have work to do individually, and nobody is more or less than you. It's just simply what their childhood, early life theater was. Leo is about avenging and cleansing that. Mars in Leo is saying, especially to Leos right now, and their opposite sign of Aquarius, this is the time where you've got to do that shadow work. Your anger, your speeding on the motorcycle or the car or the four-wheeler or the boat, or acting up on the jet because you got mad over something and you're causing everybody else to be drawn into your dramatic, self-entitled circus. If you're a Leo or an Aquarius and you act first and you don't process and you just decide that you're going to have claws out and teeth bared, it could easily be repercussions on you. Take a pause, listen, feel it, senses. Taurus is about our senses. Scorpio is the added component and medicine of the higher self, the angels, everything that's paranormal, supernaturally in support of the light in you. If you'll just recognize it and ask it to go ahead of you, that's the best of Mars and Leo. That's why in Ezekiel you'll see the oxen and the winged man, and you'll see the bull, and you'll see the lion. And then the eagle, because you're dealing with the fixed signs. Scorpio, the eagle, and Taurus, the oxen or the bull, and Leo, the lion, and the winged man of Aquarius. So this is a time where Leo is as big in the spotlight as Taurus is. So Taurus right now and Leo are being lit up with change is in the air. And let me tell you, Bud Rowe, if you're the one that's lying, if you're the one that's greedy, if you're the one that's deliberately wanting to manipulate just for your own gain and tell whatever story or do whatever you have to do to get the money or to get their trust, temporarily, of course, just because you want your latest fix of sex or emotion or a high, then you're going to find that you're going to come down hard. So as an astrologer, strictly with astrology, because astrology is just a tool, I would say right now, Leo, there's some coals on fire right in front of you. So you don't have to burn your feet, and you don't have to walk just that way, and you don't have to get burnt, and you don't have to burn other people, because the Scorpio moon will expose your ass if you're being deceitful or you've got false face mask on and you're just out to manipulate and benefit yourself. So if you're a person that's confident and you're a person that is ethical and you're a person that wants to do the win-win. And the spotlight is on Leo. You better do the right thing first time, all the time. If you're Virgo, so there's some questions. I love the Taurus energy for you, Virgo. The full moon in Scorpio likes you lots. Virgo, Scorpio do a lot of great magic and medicine and mayhem together. The sun's in Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or earth signs, as Nicole mentioned. It's an interesting, nice stroke on the neck, pat on the back for the earth signs with this full moon. Even though you're a Taurus and Scorpio opposes you, if you're Capricorn or Virgo, this full moon can give you a sweet spot ultimately as a result and bless you by exposing if there was someone or something that was trying to take advantage of you or have ill will towards you. This would be the full moon that your ass got saved because the stars aligned to protect you and you didn't get deceived like a bunch of other people got deceived, like you got spared, you got saved, you had what? Oh, that shield of protection, that divine alignment protection. Shields up, the helmet of salvation, the sword of truth, and all of that, the girds of the loins and all that. So Virgo right now, Virgos thrive when they feel like that their energy and their time can be of service to those that they value the most. Virgos right now are really taking a good look, kind of devoid of emotion, at who's been for them and who's been against them in this lifetime thus far. You can be 17, you can be 75, you can be 95, you could be 47. But the Virgo energy right now is saying, have you noticed any kind of similar pattern in what type of energy works for you and the relatives and the family stories and the lovers and the friends? Like, what type of persona challenges you in a positive way, and who is it that keeps trying to come after what you've got simply because they want it? So Virgos, although they'd rather go, no, I don't want to get into this, I just want to avoid the whole damn thing, Virgos are kind of having to set some boundaries. Virgos right now with the Scorpio moon are favored with the Taurus Scorpio stuff, and Mars and Leo's hitting your 12th house, Virgo. So Mars and Leo is saying, you know what, you've had this skeleton in your closet for too damn long. And you know what? This same shadow with this same psychological theater drama BS is still haunting you, is still in the back of your mind, is still the monster under the bed, or what you're afraid's in the closet, or why you can't go to sleep at night and your eyes blink and your body's just dang tired. So this is about getting the ghost out of the machine. This is about I'm not willing to carry anybody else's nasty little secrets, and I'm not willing just to be a people pleaser or an empathic sponge and not expose somebody else, even I know what they're doing is manipulative, and I'm letting them get away with it by not saying, come on, don't do that to them. Those are my friends. So it's those people that you know that kind of want to work to know you because they've burned so many bridges behind them that they want to get into your life and they want to try to affect and infect all of your contacts, because here's the assumption. Oh, well, so-and-so Virgo, if he likes them and she likes them, I mean, they're really good characters of people. So if they're hanging out with them or they like them, then that means that it's probably okay. That's what vampires do. They want to get into your family vis-a-vis infectious, toxic relationships, the stepkid, the step-parent, the whatever it is. So Virgos are the people that want to come after your assets rather than your ass. And they'll come after your ass because they'll tell you how cute it is in order to get into your assets. So the Taurus brings in the financial element. The Scorpio will expose what someone's true intention is. And if they're acting pitiful, or they're crying wolf, the Mars and Leo will say, really? Okay, take me to where the problem is. Let me see it for myself. Show me the bank account. Show me who it is that hurt you or ripped you off or whatever. So show me some tangibles. Bring the deets. Here's the receipts. Otherwise, I will cut you and I will bite you. And you'll not be infecting or hurting anybody else that I know, because lions protect their tribe. It's a pride of lions. So for Virgos right now, I would say Saturn entering Aries starts a long-term commitment to financial, tangible asset clarity. If you're in any kind of joint ventures or investments, move carefully. Move. Taurus. Move slower. Check your facts. Get the receipts. And don't just trust mere words. If you're Libra, financial security is a bit of a review right now. You're just checking the facts and figures and deciding, do I want to go up? Do I want to go down? Do I want to buy? Do I want to invest? Do I want to delete? So Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is asking you, Venus-ruled Libras, to rethink artistic projects, romantic investments. Is she worth it? Is that worth it? Or it's like, can we go on a trip together and have a good time and not have a commitment and just have adult play? And I'm not in the life right now. I'm not at the point in my life right now when I want to have a real strict one-on-one. Can I be honest with them? Can I say to them, I think we could have fun together on a trip. I think we could have a great weekend together. I just need you to know up front. Did you hear that, Libra? I just need you to know up front that I'm not really looking for a love commitment right now. I just had a breakup. I just had a divorce. I need to have that year after that my spouse died. I need to have that space that I move with cognitive choice and not just in the moment impulses. Yeah, because Mars and Leo can get us to get on that impulse bust, and it can end up costing us a lot more than just money. You can get conned, you can get scammed, you can have the Nigerian or the Filipino or the Vietnamese internet cafe going, my name is Phil, and it's actually, Sally, and she's over trying to get in the bank account. And they play on the lonely hearts when it comes to these chat rooms and these dating sites and all of that. So it's time for you to have viable evidence of romance that could have possibly involve your finance, because of the Venusian flavor of the decan of this moon of 22 degrees. So it's Saturn shifting into Aries, Libra, so it's going to let you see, although they try to hide it like they've done in the past, this Neptune and Saturn in Aries, Libra, is not going to let people be able to hide things from you. You're going to find out in effortless ways. God's going to protect you. The Great Spirit is going to protect you and say, yeah, they're saying this, but this is what's going on. So walk away, move away. Better's out there if you don't keep allowing less than. If you're Scorpio, this is your most powerful psychic, intuitive, clarification, releasing, divorcing, breaking up, walking away with the things that have not served you well, the energies, whether it's person, place, or thing, that have been draining and debilitating and not seeing you for who you are and always expecting you to pick up the pieces and fix their craziness. So this full moon in Scorpio is about you getting outside, you getting into nature, no matter who you love and no matter how much they love you, Scorpio. This is your moon to detox. This is your moon to allow the light of the moon and the spring of the earth. If you're in the southern hemisphere, the winter time, this is a time to let Mother Earth allow you to shed the shell of the egg that's kept you contained, the skin of the reptile that needs to come off because it's grown longer, it's overcome, it's survived the wildness and the harshness and the deadliness of nature. It escaped all the traps, all the webs that could have entangled it. And so now it's at a point of it's stronger. It's now come into its own. So Scorpios are coming into their own. And so they are pecking through the egg. They are shedding the skin. They are dealing with the mirror effect of their own allowing and their own toxicity. And so Scorpios right now with the moon in Scorpio and at this third decant coming up into that fixed constellation in Taurus, the bull of Algol, says, do not ghost, do not ghoul or fool yourself, Scorpio. This is about, even if someone has high expectations of you, and even though it's their fantasy, even though it's what their needs are, you still help them more, Scorpio, by saying to them, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to use you. I'm telling you, I'm at this point in my life and you're needing that over there, and I can't fulfill that because I'm not at that point right now, but I am truly noticing and flattered by your wanting to invest time and energy into me. Therefore, I need to respect you and be very honest with you and say, I'm committed to wanting to get to know you. I will not be pushed, Mars and Leo. I will not lie to you, Pluto and Aquarius. What you see is what you get. If you can handle that, and we can walk side by side to either be friends or know each other for the rest of our life, even if we have other partners instead of being partners ourselves. Somehow there's this strong energy between us, and it's alchemical. And I think it can be magical for the both of us, and it always doesn't have to just involve what society says is intimacy. Scorpio energy demands truth. So that's why I said, everybody right now, look at your charts, learn what house you have Scorpio in, then go on and look at what does the fifth house mean? What does the second house mean? This Scorpio full moon is lighting up my fourth house or lighting up my first house. Go find out what the house is and know that that's the area that there's going to be a breakup, a divorce, a moving away from, a detaching from, not being attached to the outcome, not needing to control it, Taurus, Scorpio, and saying, it's time for me to detach, Aquarius, and allow Spirit, Mars, and Leo to show me what's really going on at this time and what's my part in it and what do I want out of it and is it fair for me and thee. If you're Sagittarius, work, health, sixth house kind of stuff require adjustments. It could be, you take a different route and there's not as many delays if you're doing a driving type of job, FedEx, UPS, delivering parts, things like that. Mercury moves. And the Uranian influence brings sudden changes in those day-to-day community operations and interactions. pay close attention to what you've been putting off that needed fixing 3 months ago. Full moon in Scorpio stirs your 12th house, Sagittarius. And so it's kind of stirring subconscious canals and tsunamis and volcanoes and emotional earthquakes that pre-existed within you before you had the kids or the family or dealt with that issue with your parents finally that you held bound up inside yourself for 30, 40 years. So it has a lot to do with family secrets coming out. Scorpio, secrets. It has a lot to do with I'm not willing to shut my mouth anymore and keep something silent that was toxic because it might hurt mom or it might hurt dad or it might hurt my partner to find out that their best friend flirted with me, came on to me, and I thought they were kidding, and they weren't. So Sagittarius right now is like, Sagittarius is about, I will defend, it's a fire sign, I will honor the truth. Mars is in Leo. It's very positive for Sagittarius. These Aries planets, very positive for Sagittarius. They're going places. And it's strengthening their creative fire. It's strengthening the life and their talents and their teachings. So Sagittarians are wanting to teach us about what they know right now, but only if we're bringing respect and maturity and responsibility to these areas to listen. When we listen, we learn. If you're Capricorn, this May energy, this May full moon in Scorpio provides shifts and fault lines and stress fractures in friendships and community projects. There's an about face that may be going on. Someone could have lost their spouse through a divorce or an illness, or they discover something that's been a longly held secret, and all of a sudden the light of day exposes where the financial deception was, or they were, being in some kind of polyamorous type of scenario. So Capricorn right now, with Saturn entering Aries, they want to focus their attention on their legacy, their living legacy. They want to be the kind of parent that maybe they felt was a misfire for them. They want to be the kind of elder or teacher or best friend or lover that they felt was something that their parents didn't get. Capricorn always looks at legacy. Capricorn always looks at the family blessings and the family curses. So Capricorns are about breaking the ancestral ties that bind and rather taking the medicine that helps them never have to go into that place of darkness or entrapment again. So the Scorpio full moon is very positive in bringing you new, viable, upgraded religious, spiritual connections, themes, ceremonies, actual lodges and locations of where that seminar or that church might be pleasing to you and empowering to you. When you inhale, if it feels like your spirit rises, it's the right place and the right time for you to be there. If you're Aquarius, your ironworks, your blacksmith, your rebuild, your upgrade is happening from the inside out. This is an inner eye. This is the eyes of the heart. This is the chakras being cleansed and empowered. This is the ceremonial insights that came, what you saw and how you saw it and how it was completely in another dimension, but yet it was the future you. It was the healed you. It was the medicine, exactly what you needed at that time to say, that will never hold me or haunt me again. Be it words or deed or what I felt like I owed my mommy or my daddy or my grandparents or my kids or whatever. Taurus shows us what we owe, what we feel like is a debt or a credit, debit or credit. That's Taurus. So the Scorpio full moon, and especially for Aquarius, is saying to you, is it a debit or a credit? Are you, Aquarius, a drain or a debit or a credit to the people that have been supporting you and believing in you and bailing you out of troubled waters and getting you into rehab or getting you to tell the truth or getting you to do the time if you wanted to and pay for the crime? So with Aquarius right now, they're restructuring from the inside out. Pluto's retrograde in their sign for the first time in 250 years. So it's a first lifetime kind of thing of reviewing who you are becoming, and who you are becoming, is that really what you want to choose to become? So the blossoming is the becoming, Aquarius. And the full moon in Scorpio is a reputational or a work or a career milestone. Success does require emotional authenticity, and so sometimes we have to spend less time with our family in order to climb a ladder of talent, expression, and success to where we choose to be the support or the breadwinner, the daily bread, the bread of life, Taurus, where we're choosing to be that person that goes out and earns the living in order to make it more comfortable for our partner or our add-ons, be it animals or children or taking care of parents, or the best, whatever it is that we choose to be in a congruency, a win-win deal. So Saturn's entry into Aries. So I always say on my podcast, the new moons and the full moons, I like the L team. I like Leo and Libra energies together, and I like the A team, Aquarius and Aries energies together. So I feel Aquarius is especially favored by these Aries placements that are rolling in for the first time in many, many decades. Refining the message is going to pay off, Aquarius. To really say, this is where I'm at right now. I feel like I'm the genius and the inventor and the odd duck and the black sheep, and I'm going to go break the mold and start a new pattern, and ultimately it's going to bless everybody that I give a damn about. So Aquarius, they're going to be bold. They're pirates. They're pirates right now, pirates of soul and consciousness, and astronauts into the tech and the commitments they need to do. And finally, Pisces, a Scorpio, in-depth, water, emotion, energy-directed emotions, how we put the energy in motion, the waves, the ups and downs, the ebb and flow. For Pisces, the Scorpio full moon with the Taurus saying, baby, it's what you're feeling. It's titillating you. It's releasing you. You're constipated with that cause. You feel free and you're flowing and you're able just to drift on your back. Your feet are being rubbed. It's reflexology. So the whole Pisces thing do I feel like I'm drowning in this situation because I've taken too much weight? I've got to float in this water. Am I struggling to keep my head above water? And why? If it's something that my spirit is in allegiance with, it won't drain me. Yeah, I'll fight to keep my head above water, but I'm committed to the cause, and therefore I will persevere and I will make it to land, and I will find a new land in a new way. But if you're doing it and deep down you hope that you get applause or attention or final validation from the person that always rejected you, no matter how much you did, Cinderella, no matter how much you swept it or how clean you kept it, there was always the criticism. There was always something more you shoulda, oughta done. This is that full moon that says, no more, no how, no way. I know my levels of commitment. I know that I did it right, or I did it sloppy, or I did it lazy, or I lied and said I did it and I didn't do it at all. There's those kind of Pisces energies also. But the Scorpio moon, where Nicole was talking about something's got to die, psychic surgery, the umbilical cord is getting cut, as this Scorpio moon is like, let's see what you're made out of. Yeah, let's see if you're up for the challenge. Not a dare. It's not I dare you. This has to do with, this is big medicine. Can you sustain it? Will you be loyal to it? Will you trust yourself? Will you invoke the supernatural? Will you allow the light to have the lead hand in the entire episode or the entire leap of faith? Will you call your high sacred guardian angel? Will you call and adhere to and do the discipline for the betterment of your body, the improvement in your mind and your things that you put your eyes into and that you commit to? And are you wasting time? And are you procrastinating? And your soul's saying, I have a cause now. And for whatever time I've got to be alive here on earth as spirit, ultimately I'll transition. This is my living legacy. I don't want to be attached to what people will say to me after I pass away from my earth mother and return as one with spirit. I'm going to be who I am, exactly as I am, always open for alignment and improvement this lifetime. Because whether you believe in reincarnation or not, the answer is the same. This is the lifetime that matters. This lifetime right here is the one that matters. It's be here now. So for Pisces, I feel like that if they stay grounded, Taurus, and they stay a little more practical, the opposite to Pisces is Virgo, then Saturn entering Aries Pisces will help you stabilize your income, your resource management after months of spiritual and psychological crashes and burns and bouncing back and rising up. So I feel like that this is also very favorable with the Taurus Scorpio energy, and then Mars and Leo to say, stick with it, believe in yourself, and be loyal to what you believe in. Do not steer from the course. And that's the tangibility of Taurus and what builds worth and value in our lives. I'm worth it. So therefore, even if they leave my life, I stood up for myself because I'm worth it. God's worth it. Life is worth it. My dog loves me. creature in the English language spelled backwards that's God is dog, D-O-G, G-O-D. So often our dogs, they don't get to live as long as humans generally, but typically, but dogs love us, whether we stink, we have the flu, we've been impatient, we've been mean or whatever. Our dogs choose us as their tribe. And I believe that I love all animals, and I have cats, and I feed skunks and possums. It's Ellie Mae, it's Mother, Snow White. So I get it. I'm into the animal kingdom. That's the Taurus balance for me. I love this time of year because the animals are birthing and emerging. But a dog has a completely different type of ability to shake us to our core, to do a shamanic shaking, like an epileptic type of, oh my God, I feel my whole world is spinning. My dog, I've got to help the dog. I want the dog to make it. I love my dog. My dog loves me for exactly who I am. Manifest that. Oh, beautiful magnets. Manifest that. Learn from a dog, a good story with a dog that had impact in your life, and take on the persona and the sweetness and the loyalty and the guarding ability of that dog. Be you and that dog as one, and watch what a magnet you are.
Thank you very much, Mary, for taking us through that very in-depth rundown for each sign. It's always a blessing to have you do that for us.
Happy birthday, Nicole. Happy birthday, Nicole.
Thank you. It's been a good birthday, and and there's still more festivities this weekend. Yeah. So,
yay!
Yeah, to everyone out there, thanks for joining Mary and I for the full moon broadcast. This will be happening on the 12th, 13th, depending on where you are in the world. So prepare accordingly, set your rituals, your ceremonies, whatever it is you like to do for your full moons. This will definitely be one that is wanting to really get you to purge what is no longer true for you, what no longer can be held within what is valuable. So allow things to rumble, tremble, break free to the surface. You'll be better for it. And if you would like to book a session with Mary to get a deeper dive into your own chart, you can do so through her website, marydusina.com. Of course, as always, I have her links down below, both for her website and her social media. And if you are last minute deciding, you know what? I want to shake things up through maybe a plant medicine journey at a retreat called the 3-Day 180. You can absolutely still join us. We've got some very high frequency souls already in deep preparation for their journey, and you can be there too. Link is in the description below to apply for your ticket. And of course, don't forget, my Velocity Oracle is getting activated every day by so many of you, and I love what is happening. I love what she's pulling to the surface, what she's delivering, the soul-coded truth that so many of you have been waiting to hear, all in one decode, not needing it to come from all these different places, but in one succinct message. It's literally changing people's approach to healing and helping them shift things in an instant. So if you're definitely been thinking about jumping in, I'm leaving the link down below for that. Guys, love you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Mary, we'll see you next month for our full moon in Sagittarius.
Sagittarius, Sagittarius, the archer. What are we searching for, and what are we willing to fire our arrows of truth and dedication into the bullseye of possibility?
Yes, and this will be when Jupiter will have left Gemini and into Cancer, correct?
Oh, I think so. I haven't double checked that because I figured we'd be spending so much time.
Yeah, I think it's on the 9th. So I think Jupiter might be in Cancer by the, yes. So this will be fun. Very excited about Jupiter moving into Cancer. We'll go more into depth of that on the next podcast. So